In a kingdom surrounded by deep forests and silent mountains, there was once a queen who sat by her window on a winter's day, watching snow fall softly from the sky. As she sewed, she pricked her finger, and a single drop of blood fell onto the white snow. In that moment, she wished for a child. One with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as dark as the night. In time, her wish came true. A baby girl was born, and she was named Snow White. But happiness in the castle did not last. The queen fell ill and passed away, leaving the young princess behind. The king, in his grief, later remarried, choosing a woman of extraordinary beauty but also a woman whose heart was consumed by pride. The new queen possessed a magical mirror, one she spoke to each day. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And each time, the mirror answered, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." For years, this answer satisfied her. But as Snow White grew older, her beauty began to shine in a way that was gentle, natural, and impossible to ignore. She was kind, warm, and pure of heart, and without seeking attention, she drew it. One day, the queen asked her mirror the same question, but this time, the answer changed. "Snow White is the fairest of all." Something dark awakened within the queen. Jealousy took hold of her heart, growing quickly into something colder and more dangerous. She could not bear the thought of being less than anyone, especially not a young girl she had once ignored. In her anger, she ordered a huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and end her life. The huntsman obeyed at first, leading Snow White far from the castle. But when the moment came, he could not do it. He saw her innocence, her fear, and something within him refused to carry out such cruelty. "Run," he told her. "Never return." Snow White fled into the forest, her heart racing, her breast trembling as she ran through thorns and shadows. The world she had known was gone, replaced by uncertainty and fear. At last, exhausted and alone, she came upon a small cottage hidden among the trees. Inside, she found everything neatly arranged: tiny chairs, tiny beds, and a warmth that felt safe. Overcome with exhaustion, she lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs, who worked in the mountains and returned home that evening to find the unexpected visitor. Though surprised, they saw no harm in her. When she awoke and told them her story, they offered her shelter, asking only that she care for the home while they worked. For the first time since fleeing the castle, Snow White felt a sense of peace. But far away, the queen returned to her mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The answer came as before. Snow White is still alive, and she is the fairest of all. Rage filled the queen. If the forest had failed, she would act herself. Using dark magic, she disguised herself as an old woman and prepared a poisoned apple, beautiful, bright, and deadly. One bite would bring a sleep so deep it would seem like death itself. She traveled through the forest until she found the dwarf's cottage. Snow White, alone and unaware of the danger, opened the door. The queen, hidden beneath her disguise, spoke kindly, offering the apple as a gift. Snow White hesitated. The dwarfs had warned her, but the apple looked so perfect, so harmless, and the queen's voice seemed gentle. At last, Snow White took a bite. The effect was instant. She fell to the ground, motionless, her breath fading into silence. The queen smiled coldly and left. When the dwarfs returned and found Snow White, their grief was beyond words. They tried everything to wake her, but nothing worked. She lay there, as beautiful as ever, as if only sleeping. Unable to bury her, they placed her in a glass coffin. Deep within the forest, they watched over her, unwilling to let her go. Days passed, then weeks. The forest grew quiet around her. One day, a prince traveling through the woods came upon the clearing. When he saw Snow White, he was struck by her beauty. He was struck by the stillness of the moment. He asked the dwarfs about her, and when he heard her story, something stirred. He stepped closer, drawn by something deeper than appearance, a quiet connection he could not explain. And in that moment, he leaned down and kissed her gently, as if the spell itself had been waiting. The poison lost its hold. Snow White stirred, her eyes opened, life returned. The forest seemed to breathe again. Joy replaced sorrow as the dwarfs gathered around her, unable to believe what they were seeing. The prince smiled, not as someone who had saved her, but as someone who had found her. Far away, the queen returned once more to her mirror. Who is the fairest of them all? And this time, the answer came with finality. Snow White lives, and she is the fairest of all. The queen's power, built on vanity and envy, could not survive the truth she feared most. In her obsession with being the fairest, she had lost everything that truly mattered. Snow White, however, had gained something far greater than beauty. She remained kind, trusting, and full of light. In time, she left the forest, not as a frightened girl, but as someone who had faced darkness and survived it. The prince stood by her side, not as a rescuer, but as someone who recognized her strengths. And so, her story lived on, a reminder that true beauty does not fade with time, nor can it be destroyed by jealousy. Because it does not live in appearances, it lives in the heart.